Free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse. And put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now. Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Hi, my name is John Potter, and I am the host of Networking Now, where we are a show that talks about networking and the community, different types of businesses of all array, what people are doing, how are they connecting, and how are they growing their business. Today, I am joined by Michelle Drew. She is a friend of mine that I've known for some time, and believe it or not, we met through networking. Shocking, right? And she is a naturopathic wellness consultant. And over the course of time, I've really gotten to know what it is she does and how she does it. But today, I wanted to bring her on to tell us a little bit about herself. You can tell everybody how we met and, through networking and what it is that you do. So welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. So yeah, my business is naturopathic wellness, and it's all about doing things more naturally to, just feel better, look better, age better, right? And we met through networking, like you said, as part of the best networking group I've ever been a part of, actually. And I think you've heard me say that on several occasions. But I haven't always been a naturopathic wellness person or a healthy person for that matter. I actually landed myself in the ICU in a medically induced coma for 3 weeks, in the hospital for 4, because I didn't have a good lifestyle. I didn't make good choices. I was in corporate America, climbing that corporate ladder and, running fast, drive-through windows, fast food, processed food. And I just really ended up in an unhealthy place. The doctors told my family that they did not think I was going to live. And if I did, I would have permanent brain damage and really not be a functioning human. So here I am.
Which is so crazy. And, you got to this point in your life and, just like me, right? And, some of the stuff that you say like really hits me because it's like that go, go, go. And sometimes it's hard for me to stop. And I've had to teach myself how to stop. But you actually hit a physical wall and your body shut down. And how would you say, coming out of that, how did your perspective change and really change your course of what it is that you're doing?
Wow. My perspective changed like 180 degrees. I was like, oh my God, if I don't change something now, I really could have died. And so every day is a blessing now. I did go back to corporate America once I got healthy. I went back to it for 3 years. I'm stubborn and I don't learn lessons quickly, but I went back for 3 years and then just realized that it was not my path. It wasn't my path. So, I always try to encourage people not to wait until they hit a brick wall or get slammed in the face with a 2x4 to make small changes to be healthier.
So when we're talking about your journey and what it is that you do, I know what you do, but I would love to hear a little bit more in depth. What does a naturopathic wellness consultant do? And how is it that you help your clients in order to kind of get to that next step?
Yes. So a naturopathic wellness professional basically identifies lifestyle habits, medication, all the things that people do on a daily basis, and identify root cause of challenges that they might be having. So I am huge on compliance because if I throw everything at somebody, the chances of them doing it all are slim to none. If I throw two or three things at them that they can do easily and get fantastic results, that's going to be a better scenario for them. When they feel the results, they'll be asking, okay, what else? What else can I add to my regimen? And for me, that seems to have worked really well so far.
I love that. And for, to kind of get involved in what you're doing, how does one start working with a naturopathic wellness such as yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about others, but my intake form is about 8 pages of lifestyle. Right down to do your floss because that's important, really important. What kind of deodorant you use, and are you on medications and for what? Because if I can look at the bigger picture, I can identify some areas that we need to focus on. And Hippocrates, the father of medicine, said over 2,000 years ago that all disease begins in the gut. So that's my specialty. The two areas that I start with are the gut and balancing the pH of the body.
I love that. And I was really big into the pH balanced water for a long time, for years
Mhm.
actually. And I noticed such a difference when I stopped actually
Yeah.
drinking that water and I started doing more electrolytes. But, having a person such as myself who gut health is so big, when you say that, it's like absolutely, 110%. You can heal yourself naturally. And I know I personally have. So what you're doing, I think, is really important. I was diagnosed with Crohn's, I think, about 10 years ago,
Wow.
and they wanted to remove a piece of my stomach. They wanted to do surgery. And when I met with my nutritionist, and that's what my degree's in, I pretty much said there has to be an easier way of doing this, and I did it naturally. And it was painful and it took a long time, but I will tell you, like, I don't take medicine for that. I haven't had a flare up. I do everything I'm doing with natural foods, and it's amazing how when you can alter those things, what a difference it makes. And I'm a firm believer everything is in your gut. When you're stressed out, your stomach hurts, and it's like directly correlated. And I think that that is so important with what it is that you're doing. So I think that that's really, really awesome. And just hearing a little bit about your story and about how you got to where you were and, to make those different changes, I think that, it speaks volumes. It really, really does. And, getting yourself out there and kind of talking about it a little bit more, when we just recently did the conference, I got to hear a little bit more about your expertise when we were talking about the different things in the health and wellness panel. And I think it's, having such a diverse background, I think, is really important. And before you were in this industry and you were in the corporate world, you had this trigger and it really, something that changed your life. And I was talking with another guest on another episode, and we were talking about how we usually don't make big life changes until something traumatic happens, right? Like,
Yes.
we're always told that we should do something, but we don't. Like, if you don't slow down, you're gonna burn out. Well, until we hit burnout, you're like, oh, that's what they were talking about, right? And what I find really interesting about being in the coaching consulting area, my focus primarily, and I can probably say the same thing about you as well, is our job is to stop that person from hitting that burnout, stop that person from getting to that point. Like you said, you're doing a full assessment. And I stopped for a second when you said 8 pages, and I was like, wow, that's a lot. And then you were like, do you floss your teeth? And I was like, oh, I floss my teeth, but I do know that, heart disease is directly correlated to people who don't floss and all of the other problems. But it's funny because the nerd in me goes to all of the reasonings why, where a person who may not be educated in those fields don't really understand. But it is so important, because if you're not doing these things to take care of your body, where are those things lacking?
Yeah.
And I find that to be really beautiful with the work that you're doing, because I feel like it's really important. And it's not everybody puts themselves first in that manner. Not everybody is going to go out and say, yes, this is what I need to do to change my life. But you have been through that. And I think it's important to recognize that you've been through these things in your life. And now, you're here to be more proactive instead of reactive. And I think that's amazing. And we're going to break to our first break of the session. And when I come back, I am Jen Potter, host of Networking Now. I'm here with Michelle Drew. We're going to talk a little bit more about naturopathic wellness, if I could speak English, and dive a little bit further into that. So we'll be right back.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure, and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Thank you so much for coming back. I am Jen Potter. I am the host of Networking Now, and I am joined by Michelle Drew, who is a naturopathic wellness consultant. It's a mouthful, but what she's doing is so important, and it's so important to full body wellness. And in the first segment, we talked a little bit about why she does what she does, how she ended up where she is. She was in a coma for 3 weeks, which drastically changed her life and changed her outward look of how she is going to do things differently in the future and help other people. So, Michelle, thank you so much for coming back. Thankfully, I've got to know you a little bit more than our audience has. So, over the course of time, I've really gotten to learn what it is that she does. And, some of the questions that I ask you, I do already know the answers to, but our audience doesn't. So, it's really important to kind of really tell everybody what it is you do and how you do it. Because, before the break, you were talking about things like that full body health, right? And flossing your teeth and how important it is. And, for a quick second, I said this before on the break that I instantly think if you don't floss your teeth, like that could lead to not just gum disease, but heart issues, right? And all of those things are correlated, and not everybody thinks about that all of the time. And I think it's really cool that that's part of your process, because you're able to help people on a completely different level. And to get out there, because I know that this is something that it's not the first thing that pops to my mind when I think about getting healthy, or I think of, for me personally, it's what my degree is in, right? But I will naturally just think, oh, maybe a nutritionist, or maybe something else. And so I'm sure getting yourself out there is unique. How is it that we met through networking? But if you could tell us a little bit about how you get yourself out there, and we can dive in a little bit further to what that looks like.
Oh, absolutely. Networking for me is huge. It's how I do everything. And I'm not so much the kind of networker that you use me and I'll use you and it'll be great. I like the higher level strategic relationships and introductions, proper introductions to the right people in order to help someone else, and that will come full circle in time. And even for, I get out and I speak at Rotary clubs and, women's events like you put on. That wasn't really just for women, but it's about getting out and spreading the word. My mission is to teach, to inspire.
I like
And
that.
because teaching without inspiration is just, you learn something. Are you going to put it into action, or is it just going to stay stagnant in your memory?
I really like that. I think when you put things into action, you're more likely to remember them, right? Because you're not just standing still. And I really, really like that. And so you were recently just part of the women's conference that we just held, and it was a primary focus on women and different parts of just women's journeys, which I think is so important. But you do work with a vast array of different clients. Do you have a target demographic? Who is it particularly that you love to work with?
Primarily, I say primarily women over 40. I've helped men as well. But, my target, my avatar is women over 40. And
Women.
yeah, because we start to have changes to our body and we don't really know what to do with that.
And, I feel like that this is something that we've talked about, not just here, but I've talked about on other episodes with other people when we start talking about um, this age where we come to this point of realization, and where we're working on ourselves and we're making ourselves a better person. And I feel like between me and you, between our ages, right? I feel like I turn 41 next week, and with my birthday coming up, there's this about a 15-year age gap. I'd say five years below and about 15 years ahead, where in this group of women who are just trying to find themselves. Some of them find it a little bit earlier, some of them find it a little bit later, but once we start to work on ourselves, what a difference it makes in our lives, right? Where we really start changing the focus of the things that we're thinking about, how we're making our decisions, how we're going to wake up and live our best lives. And, that target demographic of women over 50, sometimes there's a lot of women who don't take care of themselves because they put themselves second, and they're like yourself, you talked about go 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 until something physically stopped you. Would you have stopped?
Probably not.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
right. And I think that's something that we have in common. So for me personally, people tell me all the time, they're like, you do too much. You need to slow down. I'm like, I'm perfectly content doing all the things I'm doing. I love going 100 miles an hour. I do know that if I don't slow down someday, I'm going to hit a physical or mental wall. I'm very well aware. And I think surrounding myself by other powerful women who are saying, "Hey, you just need to slow down a little bit." I've taken that into account. I've slowly started to say, "You know what? That's absolutely right. Like I do need to kind of take some things off my plate." I've made other people more accountable because of that exact same thing. And, I think that that's so important that when we are able to focus a little bit more on ourselves, we start to make these bigger changes within our lives. And so when you're going out and doing things like networking and you have a very short period of time to tell your story or talk about what you're doing, how do you interact with people in that realm?
Yeah, I ask a lot of questions. Like when I have my bio slide up on the screen, I let them read it because that's all the pretty stuff. And I'm like, is it okay if I tell you the ugly backstory? And everybody's like, yeah, they love hearing the ugly backstory, right? That's much more fun than the bullet point, kudos, whatever, entrepreneur, speaker, whatever. Um, and I get vulnerable with them early on, and I always my interactions are my speaking engagements are always interactive, and it keeps them engaged and having fun.
Yeah, I think being engaged is fun. Having that interaction is a lot of fun, and being able to tell that story a little bit more in depth, and even in a shorter period of time. And so you do a lot of in-person networking. Do you do online networking as well? I know one of our groups is online. What is something that you prefer?
I love the energy of being in person. However, I don't have to do a weekly in person early in the morning when, which is when most networking groups are. So I love Zoom for that because we get looking good from here up and have at it from, I still have my
Is
jammy pants on.
isn't that the best part? It's always like this game, which I love to play with people, like, am I wearing pajama pants? And do I
Or
have a
not.
heat do I have a heated blanket on? If I was to stand up, what color are my pants? Like nobody would know that I'm wearing red pants today, right?
Right.
But it's always fun because you just never know, and it's always that sheer bit of curiosity of the game that we're playing with other people, which is fun. But
Exactly.
but it is, and it's like I don't have to make myself look pretty. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could just put a screen, don't they have like Zoom has like makeup filters you can put on now? Um, it's yeah, it's fantastic. If you anyone
Wow.
hearing, if you learned anything that on Zoom, you can put a makeup filter on.
Wow.
You do lipstick and everything. Yeah, I know.
As
I know.
long as it's where
Technology
it's
is amazing.
supposed to be and not over here.
I know you like have it like off to the side, but it is pretty amazing, right? And I think it's pretty crazy that we have all of these different ways of networking, and we have all these different ways of being able to connect with other people. And I definitely think that there's something to be said for the in-person meetings. The energy is always amazing. Feeling people's energy when you're around them, I think, is important, especially topics like being. I think the coaching field, like I think being around people, part of what you do is getting to know other people's personalities. And I think that's how we connect with people, right? When you have that empathetic connection, when they know who you are, like, we can connect with someone via Zoom. That's absolutely a thing. But when you're there and that synergy and creating it, and you don't have to sell yourself. You're saying this is who you are, and your clients kind of gravitate towards you because they learn about who you are. And
Right.
I think that that's, really important when we're talking about how we're interacting, because as a wellness coach, how do you find your clients? So if you're networking, is it a direct connection networking? Is it more referrals? What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the in-person is important because we're getting really personal, and we're going to talk about some stuff that they might not talk about with a lot of people. So I do love the in-person for that. And I meet people wherever I go, and hopefully I exude the energy of authenticity, and people believe that I can help them. I mean, I go out to dinner and I meet people sitting next to me at the bar. That's where I sit because it's more social. And a lot of times they end up being my client. So, at networking events, it's a combination of, the people that I meet at the event, or, oh my God, my wife needs to talk to you. She's been suffering with gut issues for years now. So it's a combination.
I love that. And it's always something different, and networking is so different. Like you even just said it, just sitting at a bar and sitting there, whether it's having a drink or having a soda, but like sitting at a bar, you're almost forced to talk to the person that's sitting next to you. And I've always enjoyed that because I'm always the person that goes out, and I will always make a friend when I go out because I love talking to people. And, I say this all the time. I'm actually introverted. I'm an introvert extrovert, where sometimes I don't like to talk to people, but I force myself into those situations because I know it forces me to be outside of my comfort zone, and it allows me to really interact with different people, which makes networking that much easier for me. So for a long time, I was super shy. I was always scared to be that person who would like walk in and, have to engage in somebody else. And now it's just like, second nature, where you just kind of get used to it. So we're going to jump to another break. I am Jen Potter, host of Networking Now. I am here with Michelle Drew. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about networking and gut health.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
These are the top 3 questions I get from people about investing in real estate. How much money do I need to get to the next level? How do I find good properties to invest in? Can I even make money in this business when interest rates are so high? I answer these questions and many more in my online course, SFR University, where I show you the strategy that I used to build a multi-million-dollar real estate business in 4 years from scratch. Whether you're just starting out or someone who's looking to scale, this course will have something for you. Join us at sfruniversity.com. See you in the course.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Welcome back. I am Jen Potter, host of Networking Now, and I am joined with Michelle Drew, who is a naturopathic wellness consultant. And it is a mouthful of what she does, but it is so important. Oh, look, no pun intended, because we talk about our gut health. Haha, mouthful. I totally cracked myself up. It's the little things. And, before the break, we were talking about different types of networking, how you get people to become your client, how her networking techniques are sitting at bars and making people on the side of her talk to her. Just kidding, but it works, right? And it's true, when we start making that natural connection with people, this ability to create a bond. And I say that all the time. There's a reason why you're on the show today, is because we've connected through networking, and I know that you are an expert in what you do. I have learned to know who you are as a person. So not only do I trust you as a person, I will also trust you as a consultant, because everything that you have done leading up to this moment. And I've been able to watch you grow and get to know you over the course of time, which I think is really amazing. And all through networking, where we've been able to meet both virtually and in person. So I'm lucky enough that we live close enough that we're able to do that, because it's not always the case with a lot of the people that I have on the show. But we've had this opportunity to get to kind of know each other and what it is that you do. And I've always been intrigued by your title is naturopathic wellness consultant. And you talk about how you're helping people to kind of change their lives, and a lot of it stems from the gut. And I believe that to be true as well, with all the health issues that I have. And I would really love to just talk more about what that looks like. What type of consulting do you do, on the sense of helping people to change their gut health in order to live a better life? And go into all of the nitty gritty, whatever you want to completely talk about, but I'd love to learn more about it.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you so much for that. Yeah, you mentioned in the last segment about flossing and how not flossing can also cause heart disease. And there are no fences in the body. It all flows together. And I've actually had clients where we cleaned up their gut and their acne went away. You wouldn't think
Wow.
one has anything to do with the other, but it has everything to do with each other. Um, it's I find the fastest and the most powerful results when we focus on the gut first, get that taken care of. And there is a traffic jam. You can't see my bottom hand, but in our digestive tract, there is a traffic jam going on in most people's gut. And if we can help to loosen that up and get food digesting properly and cutting down on bloat with digestive enzymes, a proper probiotic, where think about probiotics. These live bacteria, billions of them, have to live through the stomach acid that is meant to kill and digest everything. So it's important to take the proper probiotic that's going to live through that scenario and get itself into the small intestine, where it then can do its work. Um, you know, aloe, I work a lot with aloe to heal from here to the other end and just really heal the insides of, in the walls of the stomach and, the esophagus and all of that. So those few things can make such a huge difference for people very quickly, actually. I've had people tell me, like, the first time they took a digestive enzyme, that was a game changer for me.
It's amazing how much that makes a difference in your life. Like, I actually took aloe for a long time, preceding having all my stomach issues. I took aloe for a very long time, and I don't remember why I stopped. I think it was just over the course of time, but it really helped me to heal. And I firmly believe that, taking things like that do really work. And, it really makes me think, and to myself, I'm like, I probably should be doing some things a little bit better. So listening to you talk has really made me feel a little called out. But at the same time, I feel like it's important. I think it's important to hear it, because sometimes we get caught up in the day to day, we get caught up in all of the different things that we're doing, that we forget sometimes what we should be focusing on. And I think really, when it comes down to it, with all of the stressors that we have in life, like, I've talked about this on other shows. One of the things that we talked about is like stress eating and, happy eating, sad eating, whatever that is, like celebratory eating. I feel like we eat all of the time, right? I talked about, like I said, I talked about this in another show. We talked about eating all of these different times for all of these different reasons. And, celebratory eating could be cake and ice cream and things that aren't necessarily good for you, which could be way too much sugar that could cause this cascade effect of, somewhere down the line, it could be type 2 diabetes if we're not cautious of it, right? And
Yeah.
moderation and things like that, because not everybody has those stress response or those markers that will stop us from doing those things. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, I think that's a big red flag. One of my brothers, if he hears this episode, he's probably going to kill me, but he has so many stomach issues, and they're genetic. I have them as well. But because I eat so well, I very rarely, knock on wood, because now that I'm saying this, like something's going to happen.
The
uh,
universe.
I was doing that with technical issues before, and then we had technical issues. So, but the thing is, uh, I I have stomach issues, so therefore I decided to eat healthier. And because I'm eating healthier, I feel better, and I feel like I don't have to take as much medicine. I feel like I can actually like not be sick or bloated or things like that, which is super important. Not everybody's like me, right?
Right.
I also have some allergies that cause me not to eat certain things. But I think about my brother, who is, from the outside looking in, looks like the picture of health, but he eats like crap. He takes medication so he can continue to eat like crap and not take care of his body. But he's like, I don't know why I have colitis and IBS and all of these other stomach issues. Well, because you eat like crap and you're relying on medication, not healing your body. And he just doesn't care, and that's fine. That's what how he chooses, because that's what makes him happy. So there's no judgment there. But you look at those direct correlations when we're saying like, this is what's healthy and this isn't what's healthy. How can we feel better? Because when we eat like crap, we have too much sugar, we're lethargic, we're tired, we don't want to do things, we get
Brain
lazy,
fog.
we might not go to the gym, right?
Yes.
Brain fog is big. And as you get older, let me tell you, I don't care how healthy you eat, brain fog is real, right? So, eating things and taking nutrients that are gonna like just replenish us and really like give us that next level. So, like I said it before in earlier in the episode, I take uh electrolyte
Yeah.
packets.
Yeah.
And so, because my sodium levels are actually super, super low, so I have to take them, and I take a very high dose of sodium. And I have to do it because it makes me feel better. When I don't take the sodium, I will tell you, I am exhausted. Like, I will be sitting here falling asleep with my eyes closed. Even if I was to drink coffee, coffee does nothing, doesn't even touch it. It's the second I don't have my electrolytes, and I'm
Mm.
pointing because they're on the side of me, but it's like the second that I don't have it, I notice that my body is reacting differently.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really important to recognize. And as we get older, like some people are like, oh, it's just because I'm getting older, so I'm tired. Well, is it that you're getting older that you're tired, or is it that we're not giving our body nutrients?
Right.
And and that's hard for a lot of people. And then also eating well, and and making sure that you're actually eating. I hate eating in the morning. I hate it. I force myself to do it, but I do it because I know that it makes a huge difference. And
Yeah.
so when you're focusing on this gut health, and focusing on the nutrients that you're talking about, like with your clients, do you also suggest different types of eating along with it?
Yes.
What does that entail when you're working with your client?
Cutting out the processed food, cutting out the window eating, the drive up window, um, washing vegetables. Believe it or not, vegetables taste a lot better when you use a good quality veggie wash on them. It's amazing to me. Like even a mushroom just has more flavor when you wash it and get all the crap off of it that you know they put on our food. Somehow they think that's okay. I don't understand, but um yeah, and it's hard because so many people I had to learn that I cannot want it more for them than they want it for themselves. And that was a hard one for me to learn, but not everybody's ready to make those steps.
It's very true. Not everybody is willing to make those steps or not yet ready. But the more that you talk about it, the more people are going to listen. And sometimes people aren't going to listen to you the first time that you talk about it, but 6 months down the line, there are people that I'm sure that call you and say, you know what, we had a conversation 6 months ago. I'm ready to sit down and have a conversation with you. And when that happens, you're like, oh, you were listening to me.
Yeah.
Right. And so I find that to be a really, really beautiful thing, with that when we're talking sometimes, where we don't really realize that we're making a change in people's lives, but reality we are, right?
Yeah.
And
one thing that I always find out from them is their compelling reason why. And I don't let them just put down, for my kids. Well, let's get down and dirty with that. What's it going to look like if your convenience today ends up being very inconvenient later, and you can't walk down the aisle with your son or your daughter, or you can't dance at their wedding, or you don't get to meet your grandkids, because it's not what we do, it's why we do it.
Yeah. It is. Everything has a why. And I think understanding the why, I think, is so important. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that why. We're going to talk about 10 things that you're going to leave our audience with, and how to get a hold of you, and all the things. So I am Jen Potter. I am the host of Networking Now. I am joined by Michelle Drew. And when we come back, we're going to wrap it all up. Stay tuned.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Are you ready to shake up the world of health with me? Welcome to Disruptive Health, where we are flipping the script on traditional wellness. I'm Dr. Denise Brown, and on this show, we are diving deep into the latest trends and breakthroughs in health and wellness. Whether you're curious about nutrition, exploring new therapies, or just want to live your best life, Disruptive Health is your guide. Don't miss Disruptive Health, coming soon to Now Media TV.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Welcome back. I am Jen Potter, and I am the host of Networking Now. And today we have been joined by Michelle Drew. She is a naturopathic wellness consultant who has spent years in the corporate industry, and then something tragic happened. She ended up in a coma for 3 weeks and changed her life completely. And it's amazing how something so traumatic has made such a difference in her life, because not only has she changed her life, she has been able to help change other people's lives by helping them live a healthier life and a better gut health. And before the break, we talked a little bit more about that gut health and what it is like to actually change it and why it makes such a difference. So welcome back, Michelle. Thank you so much for that. And,
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, we talked about, how important the gut health is before the break. And, taking care of ourselves leads to all of these other things, all of these other reasons. And you said something that really kind of resonated with me, because I've had a lot of traumatic, things happen in my lifetime. And I know you know that personally. And, I've had these instances where I too have almost died. And it really changes your outlook, because when you said, sometimes our clients change their gut health because they want to be there for their grandchildren, or they want to be there to walk their child down the aisle. And, sometimes when we're going through the day-to-day in life, we don't necessarily always think about that right away. We don't necessarily put ourselves first. We don't think when we're eating the bag of junk food that it's going to make a big difference on our lives. But the more and more we do that, and the more and more we don't take care of ourselves and we let our body start to go, as we get older, our brains think that we can do something, but our bodies most certainly say no. And I can tell you firsthand, as an athlete, the more that I pushed my body when I was younger, when I go to do something now, I can't even sit with my legs crossed, like Indian style. My brain tells me I can. Physically, my knee tells me I can't, and that's like topical. I know it's internal, but it's like, those our extremities. But then you take that same type of mentality and you think about our gut, and where our body's telling us, yes, I can eat that, high lactose, sugary meal. But what's going to happen is, how awful am I going to feel for the next 24 hours because I chose to put something like that in my body? Now, if you're doing that in balance and you're taking care of yourself, doing that so every so often really isn't that big of a deal. We can enjoy those things because it's moderation, right? And I think that that's really important to kind of really drive home with that. And there's a lot of things that you do and that you're going to continue to do in this community, and being able to kind of educate people on why it's so important, I think, is really important. Not only are you, you do your wellness coaching, I know you also sell supplements and stuff as well, which you're able to kind of expand your network and expand your business and being able to help other people, which I think is really cool. Because I was talking to someone else today and they're like, oh yeah, she sells her stuff at this place. And I was like, oh, that's really awesome. I had no idea. So I learned something new today just because I was talking about you being on the show, and I thought it was really cool. So, with that being said, is there anything that you want to continue, add to that, with the gut health, add on to it a little bit more, and tell our audience about something that you may want them to just know a little bit more about?
Yeah, definitely. There's so much information out there. There are so many different products and supplements, and you walk into a GNC or a vitamin shop, and the average person is lost. And I am super, 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 I mean, it has to be science-based. My supplements have to be science-based and proven with white papers and testimonials and studies, double-blind studies. And that's why I get the results that I get. And that's really important. But yeah, I mean, it's such a simple thing. And another thing that as you were talking, another Hippocrates quote came into my mind: "Before you heal a man, ask him if he's willing to give up the things that made him sick." It's true.
Wow. It's true, right? Because I mean, you have the full ability to be able to help somebody, right? It's kind of like, when people say you can lead a horse to water. It's the exact same thing. If that person does not want to change, that is not a you problem. That is a them problem. And it is so hard for us because we're like, I want to fix you. And they're like, I don't want to be fixed. So knowing like, and that's the thing, right? Like that's totally fine. Or they're like, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to stop eating the junk food. Well, the magic bullet isn't going to be your end all be all, because there's a consequence to every action. And not going down that road, but like it's true, like we have to be willing to make the changes. And just as long as we're willing to make the changes for ourselves, I think that that's the most important part. And one of the things that you were talking about we talked about in the break is that you have this something that you really would like to leave the audience with. And I think it's something really cool. And I would love for you to tell everybody what that is that you're going to leave them with. You're going to spend a few minutes talking about this, and it's something that they'll be able to play over and over again and just kind of take it with them.
Yes, definitely. I always love to leave something for free with my audiences. So I'm going to run through 10 things that you can do for free or almost free to improve your health today. So the first one is hydrate. Drink your water, half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 150 pounds, 75 ounces. And I always say, if you're not doing that now, it's fine. Just add a couple of ounces, 2 to 4 ounces a day to your water intake. And at the end of the day, instead of having this feeling of, oh, I have to drink all this water, how about I get to drink all this water? And then at the end of the day, reward yourself and say, I feel great that I got my water in today. So instead of making it I have to, I get to. And the next one is stop eating from a drive-up window. Eat more colorful fruits and vegetables. And a little tagline to that is use a good veggie wash to get the chemicals and wax and all of that off of the veggies. Choose your tribe carefully. We need to protect our circle. We need to be around positive, authentic, real people. That makes such a difference. Huge. That's why I like my networking people, because it's a great tribe to be a part of. And slow down, meditate. And if you can't get your head around the word meditate, that's okay. Get up 10 minutes early in the morning and go outside barefooted. And that's going to be one of my next tips. Barefooted, maybe not in New England, but we're getting to spring. First light. So get up 10 minutes early at first light, get outside, take some deep breaths, and be quiet for 10 minutes. And we'll call that meditation. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah. You don't have to label it meditation if you believe that you can't do it. Just call it getting quiet. Getting outside in nature at first light, getting your feet on the earth, doing the deep breathing. You can do those. You can get up 10 minutes early and do all of those that I just talked about. Take your shoes off, go outside, close your eyes, take deep breaths for 10 minutes. That will change the trajectory of your day. It really will. Cold plunge with your friends. I haven't gotten that one yet. Come spring, I have.
Those are my favorite. You can come and join me. I do them in the ocean every other week.
All right. I will absolutely do that for sure. That makes a huge difference in just everything. The detoxing your your organs and the cortisol, and just, it's amazing. And the last one is knowing the pH of your body. And I don't have a kit with me right here, but it's really important to know what your pH is, because disease lives and thrives in an acidic environment. So you don't want your pH of your body to be acidic. You want to be in that balanced range of 7.2 to 7.6 is kind of my target. So those are your 10 things that you can do for free.
I love that. I love that. And like I said, you're going to have to do the cold plunge with me. And I know that this isn't a plug, but I'm going to ask you, is there a veggie wash that you prefer?
Yes. And I don't have anything to do with it. I get it at Walmart, just like everybody else. It's called Veggie Wash, and it's very
Awesome.
colorful. It's got all the vegetables on the front. It's one of the top 2 that are recommended. So
That's awesome. That's good to know. Because as soon as you said it, I was like, ooh, I want to use it. Because I rinse everything off that I use. And coming from a place where I live in a right to farm town, and there's a lot of farming. And even so, on a complete random side note, why Veggie Wash is so important, even if it's organic, they still have to use pesticides.
Right.
So I think that that's really important to recognize. And so now I would love for you to tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. So all of the social media handles, any of the groups that you have online, any way that you can get a hold, they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, my website is Drew Natural Wellness, because a lot of people don't spell naturopathic. So Drew I just saw that pop up. mdrewnaturalwellness.com is my website. mdrewnaturalwellness.com, at gmail.com is my email. I am listed in LinkedIn under Drew Natural Wellness. And then on Facebook, it's just still my name. So just Michelle Drew on Facebook. And that's it at this point.
I love it. That was perfect. I am so happy that you joined me today, and I got to know even more about you, and I got to learn all about a new veggie wash. So it was a win-win. There are so many things that I got to learn, and it's always that point of getting to learn about somebody a little bit more, why your job is so important, why you do what you do makes you extremely unique and special, and you are changing people's lives, and even just in passive conversations, you're changing people's lives. So I'm really grateful that I have had the opportunity to get to know you and continue to get to know you. I'm really happy that you were able to come on the show and tell everybody a little bit about what you do and how they can get a hold of you. And if you are looking to reach out to Michelle, you think she might be someone that you love to connect with, she gave you all of her social media handles. It's also in the show notes. And then, or you can just reach out to me directly. So I am Jen Potter. I am the host of Networking Now, where we network with people from all over the country and all over the world and get everyone to come together and collaborate. I will see you soon, and I hope you have a great day.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Are you ready to shake up the world of health with me? Welcome to Disruptive Health, where we are flipping the script on traditional wellness. I'm Dr. Denise Brown, and on this show, we are diving deep into the latest trends and breakthroughs in health and wellness. Whether you're curious about nutrition, exploring new therapies, or just want to live your best life, Disruptive Health is your guide. Don't miss Disruptive Health, coming soon to Now Media TV.
Have you ever had to hire multiple contractors? It is a daunting task that takes a lot of management time and impacts the core business or the company, the time you spend with your loved ones. At Texas Home Property Solutions, you can count on a responsible company that can tackle all your general contractor needs. Electricity, painting, remodeling, plumbing, air conditioning, and roofing. Hire us and forget it. With over 20 years of experience, Texas Home Property Solution will deliver your project on time and within budget, with the high level of quality and integrity, no matter the size or complexity. If you are a company, a government institution, or an individual who needs a general contractor, you need Texas Home Property Solution. Take a decisive step and call us today for a free consultation.